All right, hello, assalamu alaikum everyone. Let's start with trigonometric graphs. So, for example, if you have to plot y is equals to 2 sine x plus 1 for x between 0 to 360. So, you should know the regular intervals are 90. We make a table. And by putting in the values, we find out. So it's 2 sine x plus 1. So you get a 1 here, 3 here, a 1 here, a minus 1 here, and a 1 here. Let's plot it. Ninety पे it's a 3, then 1, then again a minus 1, and then a 1. This is one cycle of sine function. Now what does each one of these values represent? This represents the amplitude. This is the false axis. Some people say it's the mid value of the graph. Okay, and this is 1x. This is the frequency. Frequency means one wave in 360 degrees. What is the period? The period is 360 divided by frequency. Here the frequency was 1. So it means one cycle is completed in 360 degrees. Okay. Now this is not the basic sine graph. If you talk about the basic sine graph, then y is equals to sine x. Then that's going to be like is going to look like this. The maximum value is 1 and the minimum value is minus 1. Alright, now the function that I've drawn above is 2 sine x plus 1. This is a transformed graph. What are the transformations applied? This represents a vertical stretch parallel to y-axis. Factor 2. This represents a vertical translation of plus 1 units. So in a graph, you should be able to interpret what each one of these values represent. This is the basic sine graph. This is the normal sine graph that you can then generally get, and how to plot it. This is that explanation. Let's move on to the cos graph now. Again, 0, 90, 180, 270, and 360. So it's 3 cos x plus 2, 5 2 minus 1, 2, and 5. Let's plot it on the graph. (180) by it's minus 1. Now again, this represents amplitude. There is 1, so this is frequency, and this is the false axis. Alright, now the thing is that if you talk about 3 cos x plus 2, vertical stretch, factor 3, vertical translation of plus 2 units. Let's talk about the tan graph now. Let's draw the basic tan. Zero, 90, 180, 270, 360. 0, 0, 0, infinity and infinity. This is x, this is y. So you made a table. One. Alright. Now infinity means that you've got asymptotes on this particular value. It's 0, tan 0 is 0, 0 and 0. Tan is positive in the first quadrant, negative in the second quadrant, positive in the third quadrant, negative in the fourth quadrant. Period of tan is 180 degrees. There is no amplitude of tan or false axis. You can say false axis, तो चलो फिर भी कह सकते हैं. Because it is not a wave. It is an infinite wave. It goes up and it goes down. There's no end to it. Okay? Alright. Now let's move on to another concept that I wanted to discuss, and that is from 0 to 90, it's positive. Sign is positive. Second quadrant is also positive. Third quadrant is negative. Fourth quadrant is also negative. If I draw a basic cos graph, 90, 180, 270 and 360. This is going to be super small because I have taken two less intervals. One, 0, -1, 0 and 1. So this is my basic cross graph. So if you look at it, first quadrant positive, second quadrant negative, third quadrant again positive, third quadrant is negative and fourth is positive. So the signs that you studied in trigonometry, they're coming from the graphs. The graphs are also proof of it. Okay, now let's talk about if you have y is equal to 2 cos 2x plus 1. What is the impact of this 2? Alright, it means the regular intervals, it will decrease the step size. Decreasing the step size means that now your intervals are going to be 45, 90, 135, 180, 225, 270, 315 and 360. Meaning step size, the regular step size is 90. You know, or you can say 90 divided by frequency. When the frequency is 1, you do 90, 180, 270, 360. When it's 2, so 90 divided by 2 is 45. This is the interval size on x-axis. Okay, now again I'll make the table. I use the table option. You go to menu, table, input the function 2 cos 2x plus 1. Start is 0, end is 360. And step size is going to be 45 here. That's how I do it. So the entire table comes in and it's easy for you to plot. So on 0 it's 3, then 1, then it's a -1, then 1 and a 360. So a 2 frequency means 2 cycles of cos in 360 degrees. The period is going to be 360 upon frequency, 360 divided by 2, which is 180 degrees. I hope it's clear now. Let's move on and do a 3 sine 3x minus 1. A 3 sine x means 90 divided by 3 is 30 degrees. Now 3 sine 3x minus 1 start 0 and 360, and this is going to be 30 step size. Minus 1, then 2, then again a minus 1, and then again a minus 4. 1 cycle. Second cycle. Third cycle. So this 3 means 3 cycles of sine. What will the period be? 360 divided by frequency, so the period here is 120 degrees. Now let's, for the radian mode, you should know pi radians is equals to 180 degrees. So the intervals will change. 90 degrees is pi by 2. 270 degrees is 3 pi by 2. 360 degrees is 2 pi. And if you want to do it further, 45 degrees is pi by 4. And 30 degrees is pi by 6 radians. So you can use a calculator to calculate the intervals. Okay, now here. I think that's about it. That's how you draw the graphs.